All right, so it says I'm live. I should also probably...
Yep.
Because I can probably also...
You're coming in through. I'm coming through.
Oh, and then I cannot see chat, unfortunately. Oh, I have to, like, do it like that, and then I have to pull up, like, chat on a separate thing. Let me do that real quick. And then I just have to mute my stream on my end.
Okay, do you want me to send something in chat?
Let me first pull up, just so I can also see it, make sure that everything's going through on my end. Okay, welcome to the chat room. Muted. Yeah, if you can. Hey, all right. So everything's good. I appreciate it, Jay. You can go back to sleep now.
Okay. One thing, you and the desktop audio is a little quiet, so if you wanted to boost it a little bit, I think that'd be a good idea.
Oh, all right.
If you have a way to.
Okay, so that's that one. That's maxed out. So then I'll just have to turn it up. All right, that's like maxed out on my actual microphone. Is that better?
That's better. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Peace.
Peace.
Let me know if you need help with anything else. Okay.
Will do. Thank you, buddy.
Sorry, I'm hearing the echo, so I'm gonna mute the stream now. I kept responding to you late because I was just like, okay, all right, I'm gonna head out. See ya.
All right, see ya. All right, so while we are doing this stream, hello, we made it to June. So as far as community update stuff goes, I'll quickly read over the update, which will be going live tomorrow for anyone who is watching this, which again, thank you for hopping in if you can. If not, no big deal. VOD should also be uploaded. Again, I'm just trying to get better with all this social media stuff because I originally didn't sign up for the social media stuff, but here I am. All right. So we got one question and we have the actual content to go over. So I am first going to go ahead. I'm going to start with the actual content because that is the meat and potatoes that everyone originally has decided to sign up for, which I don't blame anyone if that's all you're here for. Let me quickly pull up because I have to go through a lot of channels because I forgot how I did this. If anyone knows any organizational tasks or managers that would help me with this, greatly appreciate it. But again, probably not gonna happen. Okay. So in terms of the update, so once again, like last time, we are going over dwarves, and with the dwarves, because again, they're gonna be the enemy you're encountering first within the demo. We just wanted to go ahead and flesh that out for everybody. We're not going to be giving away all the Dwarven information that we have, but, you know, we're going to be going over another Jarl and his location. So today we have Jarl Lardor Fatbeard. And Lardor Fatbeard does have a bit of a legend behind him. He was known as a merchant, a sailor, and a pirate destroyer. So before he sat upon the gilded throne of Vel'Zarath, Lardor Fatbeard was not born into nobility. He earned his rule through steel, gold, and fire. A dwarf of ambition and unbreakable will, he was first known as a merchant, traveling across treacherous waters, forging trade routes where others only saw danger. So he is someone who, you know, just by the nature of him and his character, he is a go-getter. He is someone who he wants to, you know, see how he can go ahead and optimize things. He wants to be, you know, kind of like the guy in a sense. You know, he wants people to respect him. So with, kind of all that, hard work, I mean, his rise in wealth and, just kind of status wouldn't be without hardship. As a young trader, Lardor was deceived by a group of cunning scammers, losing his entire fortune in a single disastrous deal. Stripped of his wealth, his name disgraced among the merchants of the Dwarven halls, he had nowhere to turn. But instead of succumbing to despair, he turned to the sea. For while the roads of stone had failed him, the tides offered new opportunities. So again, he is someone who, like I mentioned earlier, he is known for working hard. So he does not, when life pushes him down, he does not stay down. He's a fighter. He will climb and claw his way back. And as he turned towards the sea, he decided to become a sailor, working under grizzled captains and ruthless traders, learning the ways of the sea. He fought off raiders, battled monstrous sea creatures, and braved storms that would shatter lesser ships. Though the scars of his losses remained, he hardened his resolve, becoming a master navigator, a cunning trader, and most importantly, a warrior of the open waters. During his years at sea, Lardor found his true calling as a pirate hunter. He joined battle after battle, leading crews and boarding raids against notorious pirate fleets, reclaiming stolen dwarven gold, and earning the respect of seasoned warriors. Every skirmish was a victory, every battle another step forward to reclaiming his name. And through the blood and fire, he amassed a fleet of his own, and his name became feared across the seas. He was no longer the cheated merchant. He was Lardor Fatbeard, the pirate destroyer. And by the time he returned to Vael Zareth, he was already a legend, his coffers overflowing with the gold of fallen enemies. And when the time came for a new ruler to take the throne, none dared to challenge him. Lardor Fatbeard had conquered the seas, and now he would rule the land. Excuse me. So, yeah, as we're seeing here, Lardor is someone who, again, really, kind of because of his origins, had a very defined mindset about certain things and the way that the world should work. So, throughout his younger years, he very much wanted to kind of go ahead and right the wrongs that impacted him, but also could impact others. And kind of from there, really continued on to go ahead and, make a name for himself going forward. And one second, because I got something coming up. Sorry, this is actually really important, so I'm trying to get back straight to it. Okay. So, gotta go scroll back down a little bit. So yeah, he is again someone who, some dwarves respected him, some dwarves not so much. It really kind of just depends on their mindset. Because I mean, again, in his early years, he may have been seen as a beacon of justice. Some may have seen him as kind of like a bastard son. It really kind of depends on how everything goes. But especially with these important figures, not only in the Dwarven culture, but in all cultures, even in real life, you see that there's a lot of legends that kind of go ahead and follow these characters and make them more mythical, more important, more endearing. And Lardor's got his own. And he had the beer battle against the god of death. Of all the tales sung in the grand feast hall of Vael Zareth, none is greater than the night when Lardor Fatbeard drank against the god of death himself, Hermdor. The legend says that Hermdor, grim and patient, had come to take Lardor's soul long before his time. But the Merchant King was not ready to leave the world just yet. With a booming laugh and a slam of his tankard, he made a wager with the god. "I'll drink you under the table, Reaper. If I fall first, you take me to the halls of the dead. But if I win, you leave me be and never set foot in my city again." Hermdor, amused by the dwarf's defiance, accepted the challenge. For 3 days and 3 nights, they drank barrel after barrel of Stonefire ale, each mug strong enough to floor lesser men. The gods themselves are said to have watched, placing bets as the contest raged on. But while the god of death remained cold and still, Lardor roared, laughed, and drank like a dwarf possessed. On the 4th morning, Hermdor faltered, his skeletal fingers loosening, his head slumping onto the table. The god of death had lost. And so, Hermdor honored the wager, leaving Valzareth untouched. And to this day, it is said that those who feast in Lardor's halls, who drink and revel in his name, are spared from the untimely death, for Hermdor still honors the king's victory. And again, like your common myth, of people who were already in power kind of challenging and rivaling the gods. It's not something that's very, rare. And you can even see it within the stories that we want to go ahead and tell and the backstories we want to create. And you're probably thinking, after hearing that, Valzareth, what is this place? Well, we're about to get into it. It is known as the city that mocked death. Valzareth stands as a testament to defiance, revelry, and a deep-seated irreverence toward the god of death, Hermdor. This port city is known for its wild festivals, seafaring heritage, and above all, its unshakable belief that death itself is weaker than Lardor Fatbeard, the legendary merchant king. And with that, again, there's a lot of, knowledge. Well, there's a lot more legend that kind of surrounds this city, especially seeing that with their kind of origins of being able to go ahead and laugh at the Reaper. And unlike most civilizations that honor or fear the god of death, Valzareth openly mocks him. The famous tale of Lordor's beer battle with Hermdor, where the Merchant King allegedly outdrank the deity and won his own fate, has become the city's proudest legend. As a result, Hermdor's image is not one of terror or reverence here. He's a figure of mockery, commonly depicted as a drunken, stumbling fool in festival masks and effigies. Statues of him. My fat fingers made me lose where I was. I apologize. Statues of him are dressed in clownish garments with exaggerated features, bottles of ale replacing his scythe, and ale barrels replacing his traditional deathly throne. So, unlike a majority of the places within our world, this is one of the few places that will actively mock the gods. Well, specifically Hermdor, but, just the gods in general, it seems that they really are not incredibly fond of. And during the Festival of the Fallen, a yearly celebration of this fabled victory, the streets are filled with laughter as actors dressed as Hermdor stumble through taverns, challenging people to drinking contests. Effigies of the god are set up in public squares, only to be playfully defeated by impersonators of Lardor in stage drinking duels. Even tavern signs and banners boast phrases like "stronger than death," "wilder than the waves," reinforcing the city's famous disregard for the Reaper. So, with that kind of description, you may have a couple ideas running through your head. One of the most common that when the writing team was going ahead thinking about this was kind of like Mardi Gras, just kind of like, that really over-the-top vibe festival. So it's something that, our players should be able to relate to as well once they kind of get that background information and knowledge. But I mean, there are, important things of Valzareth, like the high-stakes games, which among the city's many pleasures, gambling is a favorite pastime. The Golden Undertow, a famed gambling hall and casino, is where fortunes are won and lost in the blink of an eye. The most prestigious players seek out Sigfur coins, which are incredibly rare. To possess the Sigfur coin is to be recognized as an elite in the world of high-stakes gambling, granting access to the most exclusive games and circles of power. Those who dare to wager these coins often play for legendary stakes, with some leaving the tables wealthier than barons and lords, while others vanish without a trace. And that's not the only thing that this town has. It also has the House of Pleasures. Uh, and within all the other distractions that Velzereth has, none of them rival the reputation of Vanessa Feliberti von Glucken's establishment, the House of Pleasures. A dwarfess from distant lands, Vanessa sought to carve out a kingdom of her own, far from home, yet rich beyond measure. She now reigns over one of the most renowned public houses in the city, where sex workers of all kinds offer their services to sailors, merchants, and nobles alike. Her house is a sprawling den of decadence filled with exotic decor from all corners of the world. Those who enter seeking simple pleasures, again, me and my fat fingers, let me go ahead and those who enter seeking simple pleasures often find themselves enraptured by the intricacies of Vanessa's business mind. For beneath the silken candlelight, deals of great importance are whispered between sips of fine dwarven wine. So, oh, hey there, Raven. Hi, how you doing? Yeah, so as you guys kind of learned that Vanessa, is a character of her own. She's trying to go ahead and kind of play into the strengths of the city, try to gain clientele, try and reach her own goals, as most dwarves are, as most people are. Lurking. Whoa, we got lurking. Whoa. We got some lurkers. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, I see what's going on here. All right. Well, I'm going to keep on reading. A sailor's sanctuary, as one ventures deeper into the city, beyond the recluse taverns and festival streets, Valsereth reveals its deep naval heritage. Lardor was a sailor first, and his past is woven into the city's foundations. Ships' masts arise from the skyline, repurposed as watchtowers or street lantern posts. Their sails now banners bearing Lardor's sigil, a golden ale mug over cross cutlasses. Docks stretch deep into the sea, bustling with merchants, mercenaries, and seafarers from distant lands, all trading goods, tales, and challenges over mugs of spiced rum. The ports and docks are above the surface, allowing the sailor business to operate properly. Taverns are adorned with ship wheels, harpoons, and salvaged wreckage, each piece with its own story. The most famous inn, the Sinking Scythe, claims to have the remains of a pirate warship as its foundation. The old lighthouse, now converted into a grand drinking hall, is rumored to have been the very tower from which Lardor once spotted a fleet of marauders he later sank. And while there's other tales to go, with him, there's also other tales to go with the city. And while the city thrives on revelry and seafaring, whispers tell of darker truths lurking beneath the surface. Some claim that, despite the mockery, Hermdor hasn't truly forgotten Valsereth's insolence. Strange happenings occur in the oddest parts of the city, and the oldest. Ghostly figures appear in foggy alleyways with their skeletal grins twisted in silent laughter. Cursed coins are sometimes found in gambling dens, their owners vanishing without a trace. The catacombs of the lost sailors beneath the city are filled with murals depicting an ancient fate not yet fulfilled. For now, Velzereth remains defiant, its people laughing in the face of fate and death, drinking to victories past, and sailing ever forward stronger than death, louder than the waves. So yeah, that's what we have to go ahead and share when it comes to the lore today. Again, we're really trying to go ahead and flesh out the dwarves here. So we're getting a couple different, types of dwarves as we create this story for everybody. Because again, like most cultures, even if you're in one area, different, districts will have kind of different stories. And we really want to make sure that this world feels live for everybody. while this is not going to be an open world game, we still want people to feel like this is a world that it's lived and breathed in. It's not just wherever you are as the player, and that's the only thing that's really happening. And I'm quickly going to bounce over to the singular question that we got so far, which is, are we going to be able to pick between a male or a female for the Conqueror? So we early on had a very interesting conversation, and now as we've kind of further developed it, we realize that the ability to pick gender at this point is something that a lot of indie games struggle with, just because you have to do additional animations, you have to have additional models, additional voice actors, stuff like that. So at this current time, we are not going to be exploring having a male or female protagonist, but who knows if we are successful enough. That is something that we've discussed, further trying to develop in a future game, but that really, remains to be seen at this point. Because again, I don't want to make false promises about something that we would like to happen, but if the resources aren't there, then I don't want to disappoint people about promising something and then it falling through. And yeah, that's basically all that is to share today. I'll hang out for a few minutes in case anyone that is in the chat wants to ask any questions. I can go ahead, I can tackle those while also trying to figure out, because I know last time Jack and I, who unfortunately wasn't able to make this stream today, we've been talking about trying to figure out the best way forward with the stream. As you can see by the background, I mainly just grabbed the profile picture of the Discord server, kind of just replicated a bunch of times, because hopefully we can get one of our artists to go ahead and make a proper stream background, and hopefully we can get one of our musicians to make a proper stream theme, just so it feels a little bit more lively, a little bit more not hobbled together, so to speak. But that's not something that we're necessarily rushing, because we'd rather put the priority on development of the game to make sure that it gets out on time. The original December date for the demo that we originally stated to meet, and hopefully we can again still make that. We're not going to make any guarantees, just because again we still have 6 months before that deadline really creeps up. But I will make sure that should anything change in the background and we're not able to go ahead and make that deadline, or just doesn't seem likely, I'll go ahead, I'll update everybody so that we're all kind of on the same page. Because the last thing I want is for people to have this expectation, us fail to meet, and then we're too afraid to say anything, and then it leads to this negative cycle of not being able to trust us. That's something we really want to build, is trust. So that's again why I'm pretty open to having that Q&A portion within our Discord server, as well as having these monthly streams to go ahead and see if there's anyone who wants to reach out and ask anything in addition to, just so we can make something that's enjoyable for you guys to play, and myself as a fan of, and I gotta quit mentioning Overlord, but that's the reason why we're here, right? To make sure that fans of the old series can like it, but also something that will entice newer fans to go ahead and play a game like that, because that's not exactly a popular style of game, with the closest thing being probably Pikmin, which, and again, that's a very different, while mechanically it may be slightly similar, overall still pretty different. We don't have a lot of games like this. Anything, the series that I'm drawing a blank on, I know we talked about in our public Discord, which you should check out if you haven't. I don't think I'm getting anyone new here, but you never know. Which was, I want to say it was Undead Horde. Undead Horde 1 and 2. Probably the closest thing you will get besides the actual Overlord games themselves. And even then, 2 out of the 5 aren't really Overlord games, at least not in the way that a lot of the fans wanted them to be. So, there's some alternatives, but there's not a lot. Alright, if there's not anything that anyone else wants to talk about, I might wrap this up fairly soon, just because there's some other things that I would like to attend to today if I have the time. And I know, again, not as eventful, not having another person to kind of bounce off of when it comes to commentary, which, again, I apologize for. That's something that going forward I'll try to be a bit more on top of, just having like another guest here or having a bit more prepared for everybody. Yeah, a lot of stuff has been happening throughout May, which kind of took a lot of my time away from doing the things I wanted to do, and being able to really kind of get a lot of this game stuff done, and really continue raising the bar for ourselves. So hopefully, as time goes on, the life and everything else becomes a bit more streamlined, so I can focus on making this a more enjoyable experience for everybody, and we can get some people who aren't a part of the Discord and the Reddit community to go ahead and join in and see what's up, and get to show our love for something that has been kind of forgotten, but not truly, because we're here doing our thing. So yeah, yeah. All right, then I guess at this point, yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up. Thank you, everyone who was able to hop in. I appreciate it. There's some certain people that I would like to talk to after the stream. Uh, so yeah, don't ever be a stranger. Discord here, all the other social media links that we have, which I need to update this Twitch channel to have. I'll be doing that probably sometime this week. All right, bye everybody.